My relationship with the game of tennis started before I was even here, through the form of my mom loving the game the way that she did and playing it, and being a fan. But the earliest memory I can have is Wimbledon in the summer times, watching with my brother on HBO wall to wall, and as soon as coverage went off, we headed to the courts and proceeded to attempt to emulate the things that we saw Zena do, that Andre did, that Pete was doing on those courts. And so it was an important time in my life. I was trying to convince my mom to buy, really expensive Nike Agassi gear. I never really got her to do that. But I just remember the joy. I remember the diversity. I remember the pride that I had in watching someone like Zena Garrison achieve what she did, and just the way that she carried herself. And as a young kid from Texas, watching a black woman play as well as she did, and handled the stresses that came with playing with such grace, was something that helped me in my own personal development, and something I'll never forget. What does it mean to be able to serve on the USTA Texas board? It means a great deal of pride. It means I feel a great deal of responsibility in being part of a group that's been tasked with growing the game of tennis in a way that is healthy and honest and competitive and inclusive and joyful. And all of those things can be accomplished if we work together and we have the right people around the table. And so I take a great deal of responsibility in making sure that the seat that I hold is not dead weight, and that I can bring something to the conversation and make sure that each kid, in particular potentially kids that look like me, are represented in those conversations, because I know that we have a great deal that we can give to the game, and there's a great deal that we can receive from it too. And if we don't create an environment and a climate that is recruiting kids to play and to stay in the game, then I think we're doing the game a disservice. And so I look forward to being able to serve with the board to make sure that we accomplish those things. What would I want people to know about black folks? I would say, number one, we're not monolithic. We're different, and we have different perspectives and experiences. Secondly, I would say, without being able, obviously, to speak for an entire race of people, I would say we would love to be able to succeed or fail on our own merit. I think we're looking for fairness, and if we're good enough, let that be enough. If we fail, then give us the same opportunities to rebound that others seem to receive. And I think if we can do that in fairness, I think that's what I would want people to know about black people. I'd also say that we're survivors. There have been lots of things and difficulties that have been presented to all of us, specifically black folks in America. And for us to be able to survive and to succeed and to thrive, I think shows a group of people that are willing to work, are willing to adapt, are willing to make sure that we don't take no for an answer, and to continue to drive forward. And so I think that I would want people to know, again, we're not all the same. We want fairness, and we've overcome some things, and I think that that needs to be recognized. What I would tell young black tennis players in the state of Texas, I would tell them to be themselves. Be authentically you. You are one of one. You have been given specific gifts that we need. And if you dim your light and don't share those things with us, then not only are you hurting yourself, you're hurting society at large, because we need those gifts shared. And those other people are already spoken for. You can still be yourself. Secondly, one of the reasons to be yourself is that others have come before you that were not allowed to be themselves, and they sacrificed for you to allow you that freedom. And so it would be disrespectful to Althea and Arthur and Venus and Mal and Otis Sadler and Serena if you weren't being authentically yourself. They sacrificed to make sure that you can use that gift, and it would be disrespectful to them if you didn't. So again, the best version of you is you. We need your gift activated. And secondly, you are part of a strong bloodline connected to very powerful people that have done otherworldly things. And those things need to be respected in the form of you being yourself.